your skin, a pulse of light, let it begin. The night dissolves, the day will spin. Rise, awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice, where dreams awaken and climb. Rise, awakenings, now is the time. Echoes bloom, they bend and glide. A signal surging deep inside. From shadows grip, we rise and rise. Tune the whispers, find your way. Tomorrow starts with sound today. Rise, awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice, where dreams awaken and climb. Rise, awakenings, now is the time.
Hey, this is Brindlewolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice, where dreams awaken and climb. Rise Awakenings, now is the time. Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today as they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into our alignments will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talk, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune in if you can. From the very moment each of us are born, taught what we see, how to feel, how to act, how to keep it real. And the difference between love and scorn, old traditions to the values they hold dear. A cycle never breaks, show respect and fear. Told how to be, how to love, blaming their direction on the one above. mimicking the rules, echoing the noise, the rules I never felt of the parents of the parents. Do I have another choice? Yeah. Caught in the moment of giving old advice, borrowed their reactions, paid in a heavy price. I had to stop, go inside. What am I learning if all I do is hide? Hands raised high, but my heart stayed low. Reciting the script I swore I'd never know. Can I be guided away from the tears? Generational scars that brought so many tears. Can I break the mold from the parents of the past? Cut it off, wanna stop. Can I be the last? Forget about the blame, can't rewrite the past. Choose when to pause, don't let the anger last. Learn to wait, go inside, to listen to who you are. No need to hide. One moment away, cover clearing all the one breath at a time. Can I be guided away from the tears? Generational scars that brought so many tears. Can I break the mold from the parents of the past? Cut it off, wanna stop. Can I be the last?
Well, hello.
Hello, welcome to Phoenix Talks. It did it again. It keeps doing this. Oh my goodness. I don't know about anybody else, but that song gives me chills.
It is amazing. You do an amazing job with these songs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just
And for those who don't know, Micah makes these up all himself. These are all his songs.
well, I wrote the lyrics to that, and I had a huge help from Suno AI, so I have to give that credit where it's due.
Go
But
Suno.
the lyrics came from yours truly. So well, I'm glad that we were able, Michael, to help you prevent from throwing your laptop out the window so that you could hear that song, at the very least.
I don't know where we left off last week, and I do want to remind everyone, if there's something that you feel you need clarity on, please put it in the comments for us so we could talk about it. I know we're talking about generational trauma and how to break generational trauma, and I feel as though as long as we're open to understanding that what we learned was crap, and open to giving ourselves a clean slate and giving ourselves permission to unlearn a lot of stuff, and to be open to the idea that there's things to even unlearn, because sometimes we just shut down from even trying to unlearn stuff. So as long as we remain open to new information that feels right to us.
And during the song, I actually heard where I want to begin the conversation, because before we started tonight, Diane was like, okay, I'm going to take your lead because I don't know exactly where we're going to be going. But before I do, I want to put this up very quickly, because what I'm about to say is going to trigger many people.
Thanks for the warning.
So what has presented itself very recently has everything to do with the topic that we're talking about: generational trauma, generational karma, trying to get rid of that, trying to be the last of the generations for whatever. And what came through very loud and clear was the topic of racism.
That's a big one. I'm glad you brought that up.
I had no idea where we were going to go until I listened to the song again and I hear this talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a very real, very alive generational karma that a lot of people are trying to move away from, even though traditions of the past just keep pulling them back, opinions, judgments, other things.
I think the biggest problem with racism is ignorance. And not many, like, because they don't teach that in school. Okay, we're not going to learn about what really happened in school. It's whitewashed and it's very censored. So I think if everyone can open their mind and their heart to expanding their knowledge on Black history very intensely, then you'll understand how deeply embedded racism is in this country in so many different ways, including the song Jingle Bells.
Which was originally intended to be a Thanksgiving song, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah, so, but I think, especially in the environment that we live in right now in this country, things are weird. And we're paying attention because things have been going on that affect the majority instead of the minorities. And meanwhile, the minorities have been telling us for a long time that this is going on in their own neighborhoods and has been for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gone away completely. It still exists. And I think that there's a lot of denial that happens with that. You know, especially if we grow up in environments that didn't foster racism, that didn't foster like separation of ethnicities and cultures. That being said, even if you were raised in an environment like that, like I was, it was the United Nations in my house growing up. My parents broke the mold, you know, when it came to that kind of stuff. However, there was still ignorance that came with it. So for me, that looked like, but you can't date anybody outside of your own because you're going to clash cultures and you won't understand each other and you'll have different values. That's ignorant. Because that wasn't.
And creates racism. And creates racism.
Right. So there's so many what we call microaggressions that are still deeply embedded in society. So in order to break those generational learnings and normalized thought patterns that are based in ignorance, we do need to expand our knowledge. Do some, you know, just listen to some Black history content. Whatever. You're not gonna like blow up. Just just go seek out more information. Go seek out knowledge. Get your own eyes open to just how deeply embedded it is.
Yeah. And it's people of color, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one race over another. It's not one community over another. It's in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, I was thinking, it actually came to mind yesterday because I was thinking how when I was in college, I did a term paper that my professor hated and said that I covered way too many topics on. Yeah, oh well. But one of the things that I learned in that is that one of the biggest proponents of racism is kids, children, and how they view each other and how they're learning what somebody else looks like, feels like, and understanding differences and poking fun and then taking what they say home, talking to the parents, and the parents not correcting them. and the parents picking up what their kids are saying.
Well,
Parents aren't there.
the kids are learning it from the parents. I mean, it starts at home.
They're learning that they're learning that
Mhm.
the poking fun, unless they're not. I mean, let's not overgeneralize and say that every parent is guilty of saying it's okay for you to talk poorly about poor Johnny over there. But you know, another one of my favorite examples, I'll bring it up again: the Walmart videos. How much racism do you have going through when you're watching those videos? And you're laughing at it. We're guilty. We're all guilty. I'm guilty. I'll admit. But what are some of the thoughts that go through white trash? Black trash. Judgment. Oh, they must be. How can they?
Right.
That's not right.
Right.
And we perpetuate it.
Yeah.
We allow it.
So we need to become aware of the ways in which we are programmed and conditioned to judge and conditioned to have these expectations of stereotypes that have been passed down. It's time to just open your eyes to the idea that not everything is as it seems. Not everything is as it is packaged and wrapped in a bow and presented to you as. Not everything you're taught and told has good intentions behind it. A lot of it is rooted in cruelty, and a lot of it is rooted in our history here. And that goes straight back to when we first landed here. We just landed here and said, "Okay, this is my land now." The fuck?
Mhm.
And then genocide, massacres of masses of people. I mean, who does that? Why would you do that? But this is what happened. This is the history. This is what they don't want to tell you. They want to tell you that we all had, held hands and did nice things together for Thanksgiving, when the reality is very dark and ugly and so rooted in racism.
And a lot of people say, or have said to me, you can't understand. You haven't lived the life that we have. Oh,
Mhm.
really? You think so? Okay. I was bullied. One time I had a Coke bottle flung at me from a moving car, and nothing was done because I couldn't get the license plate. I was too busy trying to catch my breath. Watched friends of mine years ago, we're going decades ago, but I've watched friends of mine get beaten. Oh, yeah. I mean, granted, my lineage may not have been enslaved, but I know what racism feels like. And I know it can be broken. I know that people can begin to look differently at others. See them for who they are, not for their bank accounts, not for the cars they drive, not for the families that they come from, not the countries that they come from. They can look at each other and see who is in front of them. Not
Now,
what.
I wrote a prayer for Sunday Circle that feels very appropriate.
Please,
It's a little bit long. Do you guys mind?
go for it. Notice I'm covering this up. I'm just thirsty.
Okay. All right. The Healing Rose Prayer for World Peace. Beloved Creator, we open our hearts to the greatest degree of love. We are the hearts learning how to be human together. May we remember who we truly are in relation to one another, not strangers in separation, but souls sharing breath, space, and experience. May we see that every person we meet carries a story, a nervous system, and a longing to belong. May we soften our judgments. May we deepen our understanding. May we meet each other with gentleness where there has been hardness, with patience where there has been pain. When we feel disconnected, may we remember that the ache we feel is a sign that we are made for connection. May we be guided toward relationships and spaces where we can be seen, heard, and safe to be real. May we see how we affect one another in ways both visible and unseen. May our presence bring calm instead of fear, kindness instead of harm, and warmth instead of indifference. May we show up as expressions of unconditional love and compassion, not by abandoning ourselves, but by standing in truth with open hearts. May we pause before reacting, listen before assuming, and seek understanding before defense. May we remember that love is not only a feeling, but a way of being. Let our words be thoughtful, let our boundaries be loving, let our actions reflect the care we wish to receive. May we remember that we are each a unique thread in a greater tapestry, small and yet essential, individual and yet deeply connected. May we honor the sacredness in ourselves and in everyone we encounter. May we be people who leave others feeling more seen, more valued, and more at peace. And when we forget, may we gently lead ourselves back to the truth that we belong to one another. May our lives be quiet prayers of compassion in motion in the greatest degree of love. And so it is. Thank you for letting me share that.
So it is, yes.
That felt appropriate.
It fits.
Yeah.
You want change to happen to you.
Ignorance is bliss only for the person who's ignorant, not for everyone else. Thank you, Michael. Not for everyone else. And it doesn't matter what race you are. We all still experience trauma. We all still experience pain. We all suffer to some degree in our lives with whatever our experiences are. And the only way we can get through this world is together. The only way that we're going to set an example for others of what healthy and safe looks like is to make changes within ourselves by unlearning the deep conditioning that racism brings to the table.
Mm-hmm. And you know, it goes far and wide. I remember back in the 90s that it baffled me that even in the gay community, the amount of segregation and racism that there was in the gay community, it baffled my mind. A community of minority,
Mm-hmm.
and there was racism in it and segregation. I'm like, what is
Right.
wrong with you? And the reverse racism doesn't help the situation.
I like what Morgan Freeman said. Racism is a made up construct. It's made up. It's made up to keep us separated. If you realize that, it's made up to separate classes and establish dominance, establish ownership. It doesn't make any friggin' sense. It's all made up. So we have to first realize just how deeply ingrained it is in all of society. Did you know chocolate chip cookies were invented by an African American? Potato
Famous
chips, the egg beater, ice cream scooper, hairbrush. Should I continue?
peanut butter. Peanut fucking butter.
Peanut fucking butter. and so on and so forth. I mean, the light bulb was invented by Edison's black assistant, not Edison. I'm just saying. I'm just going to clear that record right there.
And racism doesn't stop with race. It also continues with gender.
Yeah. I don't know what they call. There's this word for that, but I don't know what that word is.
I don't remember either.
Sexism?
Right now.
Well, let's just look. We're talking about generational traumas. Let's get rid of the racism. Let's get rid of the sexism. Let's get rid of the discrimination against our rainbow of fruit flavors. And let's get rid of everything that keeps us from reaching our highest potential and connecting with one another as human beings. I think that's what we need to do.
I'm going to share this on screen.
Okay, what do we got?
For fuck's sake, the whole concept of calling ourselves different races is ignorant. We are all the same race. If anything, we are different breeds. Elsewise, we would not be able to procreate.
Indeed.
And you hear us now.
We are human animals of the nature world.
Anyway, need to be seen anyway. Like I said, it don't matter which of the isms it is. Hate is hate, and it's wrong.
Absolutely. 100%. So maybe that's the generational curses and bad stuff we need to get rid of. Hate. Period.
So much of it is handed down.
It is.
I mean, it's not naturally. I don't think that it's ingrained in our DNA, because it's still a psychological choice.
And to the opposite of what you were saying earlier, the natural way of being, when children are not influenced, there is no racism. It doesn't exist. There's curiosity and there's love and there's connection. It doesn't exist. It's made up. Every judgment, every ism, every hate is made up. Is I'm better than you? Is I'm right and you're wrong? It's doesn't make any sense. It's not bringing us together as a planet, as a world, as a society. We're all human beings. We all bleed the same color, and we all have the same challenges of betrayal, of trauma, of worthlessness, of not enoughness, and self-loathing. We have all of that poop that we all learn. Our circumstances look different, very different.
Yeah.
The circumstances around it can be incredibly traumatic, and the generational trauma that creates and that is maintained because of the way the society is set up, because of the way the culture is set up, because of the way the religion is set up. It's maintaining that crap. Guess what? It only takes a couple of generations to get rid of all of this. So it's really up to us to decide. We're still here. Okay? All of that is dying off. We're still here. We get to do something about it. So if you really want to break all your generational trauma, get rid of all the isms and all the hate in your life, starting with the hate that you have for yourself. I feel like I just scolded you. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I wasn't scolding.
I was reading the chat, and I have experienced that discomfort, Michael, because I too know what the actual term for Brazil nuts is in the South.
Oh gosh.
And it's not appropriate. It just isn't.
Right. So we have to be Lunaria says it ain't poop, it's shit.
Yeah. And one thing that comes to mind when we're talking about the generational karma, because I want to make sure that we are staying within the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to generational karma, and if you found yourself in certain situations, like, I don't know my family's history and what their take on racism was, I know that my dad he wasn't racist as far as I could tell. I mean, it honestly actually depended on who he was around, but isn't that the way it goes? But one thing is, were you placed in a situation? Well, we're going to go woo here for a second, but did the universe put you in a situation to see how you would do, to see if you could break the chain? Think about situations in your life where you were involved in, surrounded by, so that you had an opportunity. Did you take it? Are you taking it? Will you? Or will you bow?
And this is where I'm going to inject. It's uncomfortable to stand up for people that are being discriminated against. There is an opportunity for you to learn how to communicate effectively. We have the internet. We can communicate effectively. You can shut down conversations that include hate. You can. And I think that's, you said, like, okay, in certain circles, right? How many times do we just stand by passively because it's not happening to us and we don't want to get uncomfortable and get involved? But the only way to shut it down is to get involved. And that could be as simple as making a statement that's solid in facts, that gives the person the understanding that they're being inappropriate and they're inaccurate. So learn different things to say, learn how to respond to certain circumstances, do some homework on the internet, because there's follow some people online. There's communication everywhere for us to learn. And polyamorous, you're right. Put it up on the screen.
Hopefully it fits. It doesn't.
It's essential now more than ever that we embrace progress and evolve past the presets and generational closed-mindedness. In fact, it may just be our last chance to do so before the hate and darkness in the world overshadow our chance to survive as a species. Sing it, girl. You know, this is a different time we live in. We have cameras on our phones. We've got the internet. We now are becoming friends with people across the globe from different continents and different countries. We're talking to people and making all of these beautiful connections with all of these divine beings that just come into our path for our own loving growth and evolution. And we know how ridiculous this system is. We know how ridiculous the idea of all the isms and the hate is. What we can do on top of that is show up. How do we support not just ourselves, but the neighbors, our individuals around, the people that we have around us, whether we know them or not? It doesn't matter. How do we make sure that we protect and support everyone around us, at least in a way of standing up for somebody? It's uncomfortable and scary at first, probably because you were bullied and you know what that feels like. And that's too scary. And if you stand up against the bully retaliates. Well, that's when you're a kid. So let's talk about now as an adult, how to break that cycle now as an adult, because if you're going to need to break the isms and the hate, you're going to need to stand up for somebody at some point, including yourself. Okay? The bullies don't love themselves. The bullies are in pain. The bullies didn't know love. The bullies didn't understand what emotional availability ever looked like. There's neglect. There's abandonment. There's a cry for help. The bullies are not a valid resource or someone who should be put in a leadership role to tell you what to do or how to do it or what to say or how to say it. If you fear violence, get authorities involved. But by golly, stand up for someone. You're going to feel much better if you do. Okay, because then you're carrying the guilt and the shame of not speaking up. And you don't need to do that. The times that we've lived in, they're going away. We're the ones who are going to make them go away because silence was revered, right? If you said something, you didn't rat somebody out, all that stuff, that was normalized and praised. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Because that's just another way to protect abusive behavior, just another way to protect closed mindedness. Okay, sorry, I'm getting on my preacher platform now.
It's okay. I knew it was going when I heard that this is what you're talking about as far as generational.
Yeah,
I knew where it was going to go.
right. But we have to have each other's back, even with telling our stories. If
Yeah.
we tell our stories and we don't protect the family, secrets and stuff like that, and the shame that the family carries, you don't want to dishonor the family. Yes, I do, actually. I'm very happy to do so at this. I'm an expert right now at
Yeah.
dishonoring the family. That has
Now,
to be.
I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off,
you
but I
go.
do want to go back to the Brazil nut story that Michael started because he wasn't done. He had been sent. Okay. The only reason that he learned what the term for Brazil nuts was because grandma sent him to the store to get some. And he'd spent 45 minutes trying to find the one white employee. She thought it was hilarious. I was so embarrassed and ashamed of myself. Pretty sure I cried later that day at 18 years old. I felt ashamed that I should have known better and was ashamed I never questioned it. At the time, my best friend, who I spent every day with, was African American, and I think 2 days later I went to him in tears and told him that story and apologized profusely for never questioning that. He pulled me up and looked at me weird and said, "Dude, that's all you knew. I don't blame you for the environment you were raised in." I want you to hear that again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame you for the environment you were raised in.
Right.
I judge you by what you do in life. And to that point, that's why you're my best friend. I hugged him so hard after that. He really helped me that day.
Wonderful. I actually don't, because I'm learning too. I don't even know what that is because I'm not from the South. So we're not going to say it on here. I'll do my own homework and I'll find out.
It is the one word that is racist and reversed racist.
I'll find out. I'm going to do my own homework on that one because I want to learn all the different ways in which it's embedded into society so that I don't repeat that behavior and I can't support someone fully and completely if I'm buried in ignorance. That's how I feel. So I need to expand my own knowledge to include all the Southern stuff because I've never lived in the South. And I know obviously that's where most of the racism still is and exists today. I'm not saying there's not racism everywhere, but still. Yeah.
The area of town that I grew up in was predominantly African American. And I was in the minority. Double, actually, but I didn't know it then. Fortunately, I didn't come out before that. But, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I said, the reverse racism.
It
was astounding and terrifying.
Yes. I have to wonder if okay, so I'm going to say something that's really controversial, but let me hear me out. And it's just, we can talk about it if we want. I almost feel like, is there really such a thing as reverse racism? Hear me out.
I'm going to because Michael wants us, and Polyjamrous wants us to as well. So
Okay.
Go for it, because I'm going to explain what I meant.
I mean, the way I understand that term to mean is that an offense is done to you by a different race. And so I guess I say it that way because when I hear reverse racism, I hear to myself, you're never going to understand um, the discrimination to the level at which someone who is African American or Native Black,
Right.
Native tribe Black here,
Right.
or any other culture or color or whatever that is more targeted when it comes to abuse. If understand the depth of their pain and their generational trauma, and perhaps you ignited something in them that um, triggered all of that. And it's less about racism and more about the pain that they've endured.
And the reason that the reverse racism was it literally just came off the top of my head, and it wasn't to imply that I don't understand what they went through. What it was to imply is that the racist terms that are used towards African and Native Black Americans, African Americans, one word in particular. And the reason that I use reverse racism is because it is okay and acceptable, kind of like a certain word in the gay community is okay and acceptable within the community, but anyone outside the community, not allowed. And it's racist if they do. It's discrimination if they do. And that's what I, off the top of my head, and I apologize for any offense, because that was not in my intention at all by saying that, but that was what was intended. Because one of the things that continues racism in any community, in any breed of human race, is by the allowance of using racial slurs within your community and then getting pissed off, bent out of shape, and butthurt because somebody used it against you.
Yeah.
That is not helping the problem.
I think education will help us all free our minds and open our minds to the depths of how racism is ingrained in this country and in other countries too. I mean, it was only in 2013 that gays were allowed to be free in UK, in the UK.
And there's a reason. Now, I will use this term in an educational way, just in case anybody didn't know where the term faggot came from. When the witch trials occurred in the UK, you know what a faggot is it's actually a bundle of sticks lit on fire. And members of the homosexual orientation were used as kindling for the witches that were burned at the stake. That is the origin of the gay community and that slur. And a fag is a cigarette. You've been educated.
It runs deep. That's how it gets embedded in our society. Yeah.
And if you ever heard about the pink triangle, that was the symbol used in the Nazi concentration camps so that they would know who the homosexuals were.
Okay. I didn't know that either. Thank you for enlightening me. I knew about the fag. I didn't know about the pink triangle.
all of this runs so deep with generational trauma and generational karma that we are now trying. We have been. I consider myself blessed to be a part of a generation that is making movements toward getting out of that mindset. And there are still those today that have authoritarian power to try and drag us back into that segregatory mindset. And if we want it to stop, can we be the last?
Mm-hmm. We can, if we choose to. It's a choice. You have to make the decision to educate yourself and to expand your knowledge to include how to stand up for others, how to stand up for myself, where you decide, how do you decide to show up? How are you deciding to show up? If we want change and we don't like the way things are, we're not babies anymore. We're not children on the elementary school playground anymore. We're not afraid of our bully. We're adults who are healing and choosing a life that is resonant with us and is aligned with the love that we know we have in our hearts. So it really is a conscious choice and an action. And as the prayer ended, let us be compassion in motion, because that's really what is going to be needed. We're never going to break these generational traumas and thought patterns and behaviors if we don't expand on what they actually are and stop normalizing it. Okay, we don't. The history is the history. Let's try to leave it in history.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
What
Unless you maintain it.
Unless we maintain it. What happened, happened. Can we change it? No. Can we learn from it? Yes. Can we grow from it if we want to?
Right. We can choose to do different. We can choose to show up different. And maybe that's the big understanding for generational trauma on all planes, aside from the isms and the hatred, is understand if you don't expand your knowledge to find out what you need to unlearn, you're not going to move forward as you think you are. Lunaria, I think the biggest compliment I ever received was from my daughter, who thanked me for teaching her that people are people, period. Yes, go mama. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
For
yes,
teaching and empowering her with that.
right, right. Exactly.
Have kids.
Yeah,
Empower them.
yes, yeah,
Hear them.
yes.
They are trying to break from your mistakes.
The best way to learn about a culture, a color, whatever, is to sit down with one of them and talk to them and ask them about their story and their life and ask them how, what their beliefs are and how their culture is. Start connecting with folks that don't look like you, that don't sound like you. It'll so enrich your life in ways you never even anticipated it could. I promise you. And I'm not supposed to promise anything.
And I'm seeing more proof in the chat that when you make different decisions, when you think, I will not be like my parents. Yes, you will. I'm sorry, but you will. I said this last week. But when you make different choices, especially once you become a parent, if you make different choices that your parents made, it's conscious.
Yes.
In the moment, you can't plan for it. I mean, last week we heard about her 2-year-old pouring milk onto the floor. Did you plan for that? No. Did you plan for a reaction? No. I could give you some really, I said last week that I wasn't the greatest parent in the world, but I actually revisited that thought. And there were a few times and stories that I could tell that you'd be like, how were you so calm? I just made a choice. And then there were other times that the exact opposite, and the fear of God was put in without harming, but still fear, which is harm. You want to change, you want to break the cycles. Look at how your kids are responding now and what they are learning, because you are doing your best.
Yes.
And if you hold, as a parent, accountability for the times that you mess up, you are breaking trauma.
Yes. Because accountability requires repair. So with that repair comes breaking those generational traumas and generational cycles. So you can be the last by making the changes, by standing up, by making repairs, by educating yourself. All of that stuff in action, in motion, is compassion. Yep. And Michael Jackson, Spirit Radio is playing Michael Jackson. Take a look in the mirror. The man in the mirror. I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
And
Yes.
if you need help,
You can find me at healingrose.org or on the socials. By the way, I took myself off of TikTok. I just, I had enough of TikTok. So that was a short romance. We're done. But I still have Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
but yes, call her for a coffee talk.
Yes, and I can't wait for Lunaria, for the chord, Lunaria, and the bloom.
We're getting there. And I made some changes to this guy today, and I have a few more that I'm going to be making, because I finally got to the suggestion box on how I could improve, and I think it looks pretty sniffy now. It's going to look even better once I'm done.
I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to see it.
But if you are wanting help to get back on your Phoenix path and own your own fire, yeah, I titled the book that, and I'll throw that link up too. But that's really what I do. And I help you get back to the understanding of the the misfires that have happened in your lines of thought, and dig deeper in ways that can't really be certified as much as we'd like to. I mean, I could get a sheet of paper saying, yes, I can do this, but
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up the hate and the isms, because that is a massive part of generational trauma that needs to be broken.
It really is.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going to go next week, but
if you have any suggestions that, or want to know,
And I will also remind everyone that this is my last week doing live streams over on TikTok. I'll be deleting the app as of Saturday and making moves over to Epic Studios, where you'll be able to find me for live streams there. Haven't exactly figured out what the setup is going to be as far as when I go live. I'll make it up as I go. Guess what? I get to. So that's my second official announcement this week on Rise Awakenings. So if you haven't followed me yet on TikTok, don't. Go over to download Epic Studios. You can get it on your Google Play or in your iPhone app stores. You can download it. Brindlewolf is all you need to know to find me. And that's where I will be. I don't have an actual link yet. I'll get you one. So we got the core coming up tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. when Rev D, Lunaria, and myself will be back with some kind of connected. The connections between the three of us the past couple of weeks have been
spot on.
And then Friday morning, we'll have Lunaria coming back with another episode of Illuminate. Rev D will be back Monday at 11 a.m. with another episode of The Bloom. And then Lunaria and myself will be back Monday night with the messengers. So you have an amazing night. And
We love
one
you.
last time, even though it's not the pretty version that I had made up over on TT, but I guess it's appropriate since I'm leaving there.
Go love
Love you
yourself.
guys.
From the very moment each of us are born, taught what we see, how to feel, how to act, how to keep it real. And the difference between love and scorn, old traditions to the values they hold dear. A cycle never breaks, show respect and fear. Told how to be, how to love, blaming their direction on the one above. Can they be blamed for what they couldn't see? There was a different, better way to be. Can I be guided away from the tears? Generational scars that brought so many tears. Can I break the mold from the parents of the past? Cut it off, wanna stop, can I be the last? Under all the racket, couldn't hear my own voice, mimicking the rules, echoing the noise. The rules I never felt of the parents of the parents. Do I have another choice? Yeah. Caught in the moment of giving old advice, borrowed their reactions, paid in a heavy price. I had to stop, go inside. What am I learning if all I do is hide? Hands raised high, but my heart stayed low. Reciting the script I swore I'd never know. Can I be guided away from the tears? Generational scars that brought so many tears. Can I break the mold from the parents of the past? Cut it off, wanna stop, can I be the last? Forget about the blame, can't rewrite the past. Choose when to pause, don't let the anger last. Learn to wait, go inside, to listen to who you are. No need to hide, one moment away. Cover clearing all the one breath at a time. Can I be guided away from the tears? Generational scars that brought so many tears. Can I break the mold from the parents of the past? Cut it off, wanna stop, can I be the last? It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today as they help you find your way. Oh, mental wellness is the topic of the hour. Mental health and the power to tap into our alignments will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talk, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talk, awareness that is never